So, if you're in the crypto space at all, you've probably noticed something. This fall, everyone's calendars are, well, they're absolutely slammed. It seriously feels like the entire industry is living out of a suitcase. But this isn't just about racking up frequent flyer miles. This whole travel frenzy is a huge signal that something big is happening. A series of strategic meetups that are literally setting the stage for the next chapter of digital finance.
And that really leads us to the big question we're digging into here. Are these just a bunch of fancy conferences for handshakes and happy hours? Or are we watching something way more important play out? The actual future of finance being coded and funded in real time. All right, let's get into it.
Okay, think of this as our own strategic world tour. We're going to break down the key events this fall to really understand the powerful stories and trends shaping the industry, kicking things off with a very, very busy October.
And let's be super clear here. What we're seeing in October and November, it's not just a random collection of events. It's much more like a global chessboard. Every single conference, whether it's in Singapore or New York or Berlin, it's a strategic move that's deciding where the money flows and, just as importantly, what technology gets built next.
So, Act 1 of this story is October. This is the month the suits really show up in force. The entire conversation is about big money, it's about top-down adoption, and it's all about bringing traditional finance into the world of Web3.
And wow, the schedule is just relentless. It starts with a bang at TOKEN2049 in Singapore, then it's off to Dubai for the Future Blockchain Summit, and then boom, 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 New York, Barcelona, and it wraps up in London. As you can see, this is a truly global marathon.
And you know, when you pull back and look at the agendas for all of these different events, one single theme just jumps out: top-down adoption. It's all about getting hedge funds and VCs excited, working with governments and regulators, and focusing on these huge ideas like tokenizing real-world assets. This is the big institutional push, no question about it.
And if you want a sense of just how intense this all is, get a load of this number. During Token 2049 week in Singapore, just that 1 week, there are over 400 site events. That's not just networking, folks. That's one of the most concentrated deal-making environments you'll find anywhere on the planet. The money is definitely on the move.
And that brings us perfectly into Act 2, November. Because after the suits have had their say, the focus does a complete 180. This is the month of the builders, the developers who are actually in the trenches, writing the code and building the foundation for all those big ideas we just talked about.
The whole vibe just changes. We go from these high-level talks about allocating capital in corporate boardrooms to getting deep in the weeds on protocol development in hands-on workshops. It's a total shift from money to mechanism.
And you can see this shift reflected in the November events. You've got Chainlink SmartCon in New York, which is all about the essential plumbing of the industry. Then there's the Cardano Summit in Berlin, focusing on their super research-heavy approach. And then you have DevConnect in Buenos Aires, which is just a pure, no-fluff, grassroots get-together for Ethereum's core builders.
Okay, so you're going to hear this term a lot at these developer events, cross-chain interoperability. What on earth does that mean? Well, put simply, it's the tech that lets different blockchains actually talk to each other. Think of it like building digital bridges between a bunch of isolated islands. It is absolutely essential if this is all going to work at a global scale.
This slide just lays it out so perfectly, right? It's the two sides of the crypto coin. On one hand, you've got an event like Token 2049, all about capital and boardrooms. And on the other, you've got DevConnect, which is all about hackathons and workshops. They feel like completely different worlds, but here's the secret. They're deeply, deeply connected. Which brings us to what's probably the most important part of this whole explainer: connecting those dots. Because these two worlds, the suits and the builders, they aren't fighting each other. Actually, they are completely and totally dependent on each other.
I mean, it really just boils down to this. All the grand, ambitious plans discussed in the boardrooms in October, they are nothing more than ideas on a PowerPoint slide without the infrastructure being coded in November. The capital needs the code to have anywhere to go. Simple as that.
So when you smash these 2 months together and look at the big picture, 4 huge narratives for the next year just snap right into focus. You've got the tokenization of real-world assets. That's turning things like art and real estate into digital tokens. Then there's that seamless interoperability we just talked about, the convergence of AI and blockchain, and the rise of a truly global, multipolar crypto world.
And that last point, it is so critical. As you can see here, influence isn't just in one place anymore. We're seeing these massive hubs for both capital and innovation pop up all over the map. Asia, the Middle East, the Americas, Europe. No single region is calling all the shots anymore.
So what does this all add up to? What's the big takeaway here? We're not just looking at a busy conference schedule.
What we're getting is a live preview of the next massive wave of financial innovation.
You know, this quote from the Global Crypto Strategic Outlook just hits the nail on the head. The partnerships being formed, the products being launched, the technical problems being solved at these events, all of that is going to directly set the tone for the next major cycle of adoption.
And at the end of the day, that's why this matters to you. Whether you're an investor trying to figure out the next big thing, a developer deciding what to build, or a policymaker just trying to get your head around this space, these events are not just parties. They are strategic checkpoints, giving us real-time clues about where this entire industry is going.
So look, the deals, the debates, the actual lines of code that are going to define 2026, they aren't happening soon. They are happening right now, in conference halls and workshops from Singapore to Berlin. The future isn't some far-off idea. It's being built as we speak. So the only real question left is, are you paying attention?